All right. We just won't have coverage from the start for this round. We're diving in here in a looks like mono blue versus tempered steel matchup. We'll get injured on coverage for this. Okay, we're gonna just be starting in a game 2 here. It looks like perfect. Perfect.
You know, in round 1, I said it was about the 2 best names, but this person's name is Golden Butts, and that's pretty high up on my list as well at this point. Something pretty good. Yeah, just a straight Azorius. All that glitters. It's interesting. I certainly died to Skilled Animator several times.
Yeah, so one of the things we talked about in the past with All That Glitters is the All That Glitters decks feel good when they have the glitters, and they're kind of mediocre when they don't. And Tempered Steel really gives you kind of another payoff card like that, right?
Yep. Yeah, definitely. This thing plays a bunch of like really bad cards that you need to synergize with your medium cards to be good. So Tempered Steel and All That Glitters definitely big ones. I don't know. Karn Cyniverse is a nice one too.
And Inkska here sideboarding very quickly. Obviously, they had a plan for the tempered steel matchup.
Yeah, mad props. This person's name is, first of all, the name's Golden Butts, and then their deck list is Fartifacts. That is
Golden great. Butts, and their deck list is Fartifacts.
Just grade A.
I appreciate the on point deck list names.
Grade A elementary school humor, and I am amused. I appreciate you. Well, neither of these hands looks particularly good.
Pretty easy mulligan on Butt's side of the table. Yeah, I guess Inkska's probably mulliganing 2, right? With no threat and no cheap interaction.
Yeah.
And this hand, on the other hand, is excellent here, just with the addition of Spectral Sailor. Almost the same hand plus Sailor.
Yeah, this is great for both these players. Can keep these hands not too bad.
All right. And Gingerbrute into Steel Overseer on Butt's side of the table. Yep. Excellent 6 there as well.
Yeah, it's cool. This blue-white deck actually gets like the Mystical Dispute also, which is cool. That's a nice one to pick up.
So Steel Overseer here. This is a card that, gosh, remember when this card was Modern playable?
God, yeah. That was when I first started playing Modern, actually.
Modern was a happier place. I really feel like Modern was in a much better place when Affinity was a playable deck.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, Affinity was good back then, actually. It was like the deck to beat, basically.
Yep.
Okay. Well, it's a good start here for both players.
Yeah, the second Gingerbrute is huge here. Going to get powered up on this Overseer, and you know, this is one of the downsides to this mono blue deck is while you have a lot of counterspells to keep things off the table, once they're on the table, they pretty much stay there.
Yeah, I was thinking the Spectral Sailor would be a nice blocker, but with this Overseer, yeah, right. Good luck. All right. It's funny, these guys are just going to be like 2 ships passing in the night at this point.
Yep.
Brineborn's a nice one.
Okay, second Overseer here is huge as well, and we've got the Mystic Dispute in Butts' hand to force it through.
Yeah, that's really good.
Hold on to your butts, Matthew. This Overseer's coming in.
Yeah, man, Steel Overseer. What a card. All right.
And I think this game's pretty much done at this point.
Yeah, I mean these Gingerbrutes are going to be lethal next turn. Yeah.
You could say Golden Butts and his Fartifacts are blowing through the mono blue deck here.
Oh gosh, I was not ready for that. Thanks so much.
Just to paint a picture, I am an artist with my words, Matthew.
This is pretty nice. Yeah, Gingerbrute going to attack for 10 here and be unblockable, as it were.
Brazen Borrower here, being able to bounce something potentially very good, but Stonecoil Serpent, also big game. Notably, reach on that snake.
Yeah, that's quite annoying. At this point, I mean, you're at 13. You might as well just be... I think you're supposed to go for it.
So, Gingerbrute is the only food in the Fartifacts deck. Does that mean Gingerbrute gives you gas?
Yeah, Gingerbrute is definitely going to be some gastric distress.
Man, that's got to be one kind of raunchy cookie if it does that.
Yeah, it's probably got glue in it or something. Yeah, this is rough. Steel Overseer.
Listen, chat. I am 6 years old in my heart, and I know all of you at home are as well. And now, here's a question right now. You have to bounce the Gingerbrute here. I like the sequencing on Butts' side here. Just making them do the thing, making them jump block, and then you can replay your thing post combat when they bounce.
Sure. Yeah, you're gonna have to chump something, if possible. Man. Okay.
Okay, and instead of electing, this is interesting. So instead of electing to bounce, we're playing Trickster. How do you feel about the attack with the Overseer there?
Yeah, I don't love it. So my line I think is attack with the two Gingerbrutes. You can pump both of them. Even if you get through for 5, they're dead the next turn anyway. Still, right?
Yep.
Sans another bounce spell or whatever.
Okay, and we're making one of the brutes unblockable, which I don't know if I'm a huge fan of that, just because now your Stonecoil Serpent's one smaller. Was it necessary to make that unblockable?
Yeah. I mean, now this is actually pretty decent for the mono blue player because they can trade off with this.
I don't know. I think they're still pretty far behind, right? Because they get to trade with the Gingerbrute and they get to block the Steel Overseer if they want, and then the Stonecoil Serpent's going to be trampling next turn.
They are behind, but this line leaves it so they can kill one of the brutes and then bounce one the next turn.
That's true. I think the trample probably throws a kink in that plan though, but they don't know the Stonecoil Serpent's there, right? So they can't play around it.
Right. Yeah, this is I think the best available. All right, Stonecoil.
All right, heading back to Sideboard here for a pretty quick game 2 into a game 3. Yeah. And that's kind of I think how you expect these games to go. I don't think either of these decks have the tools to be controlling in these post-board games, so I think it's just going to be someone running someone else down.
Yeah, I'm pretty with you.
Especially with the volume of evasion on both sides. The mono blue deck's got a bunch of flyers. The artifact deck has unblockable things like Gingerbrute, so.
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah, I like getting rid of these Loxodons and things that just can get countered pretty easily and leave you vulnerable. Huh. Yeah, it's funny. They're actually just two very aggressive. They're just two decks that just ignore whatever everyone else is doing. One's trying to counter everything you do, one's just trying to get through unblockable.
Someone in chat asking a question about the structure of the tournament. No, there's no reason to run a tournament as Swiss, in my opinion. Swiss tournaments are effectively double elimination anyways. People who take their second loss in a Swiss tournament are no longer eligible to win the event, so there's no reason to drag along a bunch of other people making the rounds run longer. Once you are eliminated from the tournament via double elimination, you can just go play ladder matches.
Well, somebody says, is it just me or is it a bit surprising not to see disputes come in? I don't think you really want a ton of them on the draw, actually. Because, the damage is basically done.
See, mono blue mulliganing to 5 here. Pretty good 5, though.
Yeah, good 5. A nice hand for Golden Butts over there. Glass Casket is a nice one to have access to.
Oh, mono blue isn't on the draw, sure. Yeah.
Right.
Good hand regardless. Need to decide between Chamber Sentry and the Gingerbrute here. I like leading on the Gingerbrute, I think, because Chamber Sentry can potentially be a 2-2 if you draw another one that makes colored mana.
Yeah, it gets a little bit bigger. Wow.
Essence Capture's a good pickup here.
Yeah, that one's really good. Especially if they decide to go for Overseer here.
Yep. We could see them just Glass Casket. So we could also see them just Chamber Sentry. And it's a tough call, right? Because, like, there is some merit to just jamming on Golden Butt's side because, you know, the more mana they get, the more likely they are to have a 3-mana counterspell, right? Like, if they have Wizard's Retort, they can't cast Wizard's Retort right now, but they could cast it next turn.
Yeah.
I like this. Pretty conservative play from Butts, trying to bait a counterspell, basically. Now it'll be interesting to see, do we see an attack with the Gingerbrute into a potential Trickster here? Could be disastrous if so.
Yeah, like, if it's me, I'm probably attacking. I mean, they have 3 cards in their hand, right? So, like, even if you get blocked by Trickster here, it's probably fine. You get cards out of their hand eventually, anyway, so.
Okay, and this
Wow.
is... It's like, yeah, we see the pause here. Like, do we want to go in on this Sea-Dasher Octopus?
That's pretty good.
And then, you know, we saw Butts be kind of conservative last turn. Will we see them run back the same Glass Casket play, or do you jam now with the Overseer? I feel like you ran the Gasket play last turn. You're not playing Overseer this turn. You're like playing Sentry or Casket.
Yeah, I think so. Ornithopter is actually kind of hilarious against these decks. I didn't think about that eventually in the beginning. Is they have like a lot of 1/1s.
Okay, sure. Yeah, it's just like a pseudo removal spell.
Yeah. Oh, another Casket. Yeah. And I'm just gonna elect for the 1/1 Sentry here. Okay.
I like this. I like the double spell turn. Like, could get more value off this Chamber Sentry by waiting to play it, but the key to pulling out ahead in matchups like this is often making 2 spells in a turn.
Yeah.
We're about to Glass Casket here, sure.
Okay. I mean, yeah, if you want to get aggressive, with the best you can do. Yeesh.
Mono blue player, Inkska here on the bottom, making the best use of their 2-land hand.
Yeah. Boy.
So, yeah, like, if you're Butts now and you want a double spell, you ideally want a Sentry plus Steel Overseer because Sentry only gets counters if you pump colored mana into it. I guess you could Casket plus Overseer, but they've been so conservative with this Overseer. I'd be very surprised if they played it into 2 open mana.
Yeah, Overseer's like easily the best card in their hand and probably one of the better cards in their deck overall. You want to be able to force it through if possible, and like you mentioned, being pretty conservative with it here.
Yeah, their goal is to sequence in a way that this Overseer is most likely to resolve because that's their card that can take over the game.
Yeah. Another Casket.
Okay, and we see Golden here again electing to... Oh, maybe not. Let's say maybe Chamber Sentry again. Yep.
Okay.
Again, just not wanting to play this Overseer out into open mana.
Yep. All right. Will you attack again?
Yeah, you have to decide. Do you want to offer your creature up into another Trickster? And like the fact that the Trickster you put under this casket, it means like if they have another Brazen Borrower, their Trickster comes back and also eats your 1/1.
And that's a massacre if that happens. Yeah.
Okay, now if you're Butts, do you trade your Sentry for their Cutthroat?
I think so. I don't know. It's pretty tough. You don't want to let it run away with the game, but I think you're probably fine just to wait.
Oh, are we going to see some Sea-Dasher blowout here? I guess you just block. And you block, sack. And then if they go to go equip the thing, you sack it. Yeah. Interesting. No blocks. Okay. I feel like if you're Butts, you need to keep the board clear. Okay, Karn's Bastion is online. That land drop.
Yeah. I was going to say Karn's Bastion. If they're a land away from that, that's pretty good.
The problem here is Chamber Sentry is basically fixed Walking Ballista, right? So like This card is not. They don't get to kill things when
it's tapped.
Yeah. And when they don't have mana, right? Like, not only do they have to tap it, but they have to have mana. Okay, we see Sea-Dasher here. Gonna make this Cutthroat a 3/3. A little bit of mutate for my Coria here.
Okay.
Do you chump block with the Ornithopter? I feel like you do, right?
Yeah, you don't want to draw a card. Like, they're pretty buried on 2 cards. If you're able to block here, you're in okay shape.
Float mana, they had to tap a white mana to cast their Glass Casket.
Wow. No, that's a good one, too. That's a good bait spell, too, the Stonecoil Serpent.
Yeah, I almost feel like you Stonecoil for like 3, and
Yep.
then if they counterspell, you Gem Overseer, and if they don't counterspell, you just like, okay, pass the turn.
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
Of course, we also know that we also know that like they have 2 counterspells, so I wouldn't fault like a Stonecoil for Max here.
Yeah, the Stonecoil for 3 is good, too, against, like, things like Quench also, though. So, like,
Yeah.
I think you're playing around as much as possible here, and it's pretty good.
Okay, and this is what Golden's been waiting for. This is the, okay, we were really patient and we waited and now we got our Steel Overseer, but like, is this going to be enough to stabilize the board at this point?
It's tough. I mean, that Sea-Dasher's a 5/5, and it's drawing cards, and
Yep. I feel like both players have played well this game.
yeah, I agree. I mean, in looming, too, is this Brazen Borrower is looming as well.
Okay, yep, definitely want to play that land out so that way you can Chamber Sentry for 1 after you Karn's Bastion potentially.
Yeah.
We know the Sea-Dasher is about to turn into a 6/6 though, because this Brazen Borrower is coming down.
Yeah, I guess Chamber Sentry's pretty good against Siren Stormtamer and Brazen Borrower, but
You also have to not die to the Sea-Dasher, right? I think
I
we're
was
going to be
saying.
in a have to chump with Chamber Sentry mode.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, Sea-Dasher is going to be pretty annoying.
Wow, that's aggressive.
Holy cow. I guess they get to block with the sentry that's back and shoot Tamer, shoot... Oh, they can't shoot both. Wow. Yeah. Another Brazen Bar would be a disaster. Huh. Yeah, the problem again here with this attack is if they peel Brazen Borrower again, you're roasted. Okay. Huh. Okay. Down to 8.
So I guess the plan here is chump block, Karn's Bastion, shoot,
Yeah.
and then if they attack with everything, you could kill them on the backswing.
Yeah. I like opting here. Again, if you remove this blocker, it doesn't do anything.
That's a blank. Yeah, I guess I actually really like Golden's line.
It's fine. Okay.
And now
Yeah,
Inkska's dead, right?
Yeah, Bastion.
You block here, you Bastion, you shoot the Siren Stormtamer, and then you have 4, 5, 6, 7 plus a Bastion activation
Plus
next turn.
Bastion. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Golden. Yeah, just again,
Let's
kind
go.
of. Golden was really rewarded this game for how they sequenced their Steel Overseer.
Yeah.
I think it was like
I agree.
the story of the game. Like they had a decision where they could have jammed it on turn 2, and they elected to be super conservative with their plays, and I think it ended up really getting paid off for it.
Yep, definitely. So long as they remember to activate this sentry, looks like they're doing here.
Yep.
Cool. And then, yeah, like you mentioned, double Bastion is going to be enough.
Yep. And I think there's no way Golden doesn't attack and make them have it next turn, because this is like what they were setting up for. I don't think.
Yep. It's been a good one.
We could see Golden be conservative and like hold back, but I'm pretty sure that's playing to not lose, and they're going to identify that that's not what they want to be doing. They've played well so far, so making them have it here I think makes a lot of sense.
Yep.
Obviously, like we're playing with information that they don't have, but
Well,
I
now
think
they have another sentry too, so it's like it's a blocker still too.
sure, yeah. So now they can make them have it and not be dead on board, so it's just
Yep.
like extra correct too.
It's super good for them.
Yep. If you weren't already forced into making them have it, I think the jump blocker there means you go for it all the way. Yeah. Yeah, that was really a good game. That set in general, like the artifacts deck looked really sweet there overall.
Yeah, it was cool. It was cool. Yeah, it's nice. You know, the artifacts deck, like you usually think of like deck like that as like mostly strictly colorless. Having the blue-white cards, we watched Glass Casket be very good. Mystical Dispute was also very good. So maybe there's something to that deck there.
Yeah, it seems like, and again, one of the things that really jumps out to me is that like we would call their Golden deck a Tempered Steel deck, and they never drew Tempered Steel, and their deck was impressive still. And that's one of the keys, right? One of the questions you always ask yourself is like, okay, my deck's named after this card. Does my deck do stuff when I don't have that card?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It looked pretty good. Each individual card did things. I mean, you got cards that are gonna be stinkers, you know.